So what's our takeaway? Awards are what you make of them. I feel like somebody who's savvy about publicity can use an award as a talking point, a news cycle.
Yes.
But that's kind of probably all it is, unless they're giving you a lot of cash. Which, yeah.
Are they?
No, I don't think so.
Well,
rare. Very rare.
Hi, I'm Joe Beal, the founder and CEO of Microcosm Publishing. I'm also the author of A People's Guide to Publishing, which distills what I've learned from selling millions of books over the past 28 years.
I'm Elly Blue, the vice president of Microcosm. We started this podcast to share what we've learned with newer publishers, so you can learn from our mistakes. Or maybe you just want to learn about the publishing industry.
We welcome back once again Jane Friedman of The Bottom Line.
Hello.
Now joining us once again for the 30th or so time to talk about another common mystifying kerfuffle in the world of publishing. Are author awards worth it? Jane?
Well, I don't know why, but over the past year or two, I've been getting more and more questions about awards, especially awards for indie authors. So people self-publishing, sometimes authors with small presses too, where the small press is not going to invest in doing the award. And I actually had two people submit guest posts recently about this topic. Kind of, I wouldn't say they're on opposite ends of the spectrum, but one represents a more positive experience, but also questions, have I been had? And then the other one is a distinctly negative experience where the person's like, I've definitely been had.
Oh no.
And so her post is really kind of a warning to other authors to maybe save your money, because the award is really just there to stroke your ego.
Yeah.
I should say that, like, I have my own experience working at a publishing company that had a competitions division. So this was at Writer's Digest.
Oh. So you were award administrators.
We were administrators of like half a dozen different awards. There was the self-published book awards and the annual writing competition, which got by far the most entries, short story awards, poetry awards. It was a $1 million business alone, just that.
Wow.
And it was like 75% profit. Now, I will say, like, for 1 year that I was involved with these awards, I took the grand prize winner of the annual competition to New York City to meet 3 agents. And it was a fabulous experience for that one person out of 20,000 who entered. So, I have a certain level of cynicism about awards, having seen how the sausage is made. And the fact you can always tell when it's possibly a for-profit. Well, I mean, most of them are for-profit, but like the deadline keeps getting moved out and moved out again so that you can hit your budget numbers.
Yeah. This is a number of presses have pointed out to me. I mean, and I'm not even in the media other than this podcast, but publishers constantly send things to me where they're like, this is a feed entry and they've pushed the deadline back for 2 years. And I'm like, that is weird, but what do you want me to do about it? Like, I'm not the police of, awards.
We built this software from scratch to solve our own problems starting in 2001.
It's not only the reason for our survival, but the reason we've been a Publishers Weekly fastest growing publisher 3 years in a row.
Now we want to share it with you.
Join Working Lit and get back the agency to understand your publishing business, market and sell your books, and painlessly pay royalties.
Working Lit. Doing the math for publishers.
Visit workinglit.com to give it a try for free.
We tell authors don't spend money for any services ever, period, hard stop. And like, I don't know, about half of them listen.
Mm.
But we have had, I mean, our funniest was we had an author that submitted to a self-publishing award and won.
Or the book we published.
Kind of curious.
What? It was like a failure on so many levels.
Which, again, like, that did not give me feelings of legitimacy or confidence in said award. But my background is in filmmaking, which it's like became very pay to play at a certain point where distribution was all contingent upon getting into these festival entries, and then it was like, how many thousands of dollars have you budgeted for those application fees? I mean, it's like going to college, basically.
Yeah.
And so, I guess that gave me a certain, I don't know, jadedness, because at a certain point, you're supposed to be sort of grandfathered into free applications if you're a returning filmmaker. But then more and more of them were like, well, this is how we make the money. So no, you have to pay even if you're a 10 times alum. And so, I don't know, I guess, when did awards change in publishing that maybe the validity of it was shaken?
I mean, certainly I've noticed on the traditional publishing side, when you get into like poetry and some of the things that aren't particularly commercial, I've seen more and more of these small literary, usually nonprofit presses that will use contests with a book publication as the prize.
Yeah.
And the writers are really supporting that press through the entry fees, because they're, for a book publication prize, they're pretty high, like minimum of $25, if not 50, 100, like it can get really steep. So there's a very specific Substack for those who want to delve into kind of the details of this, called Poetry Bulletin by Emily Stoddard. And she's been like doing like database work, looking at all these presses. And for some nonprofits, you can look up their financials because they have to file them for the public to see. I think it's called Form 990. And so you can see, like, for certain presses, like, that's their bread and butter, these contest fees. So I always feel a little bit conflicted about this, because the presses aren't going to survive on book sales alone in many cases, but it's the writers who are funding it entirely. So are we comfortable with this? I don't know.
It depends on the day.
I mean, there's like a kind of a beautiful thing about like breaking down the gatekeeping, now there's no longer just like the National Book Award or like whatever big awards there are that like probably feel out of sight to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But like also, is winning the award, is the honor of winning an award enough? Because that's what you get. We had a book win an award a couple years ago, one of our Queering Consent series, super well written, amazing T for T short stories by Laura Q, called A Tight Squeeze. We submitted it to the Lambda Awards, became a finalist. It won in its category. Laura went to the awards ceremony, got a trophy.
Great photo.
Super big smile. And I think I've been monitoring book sales since then, and I think we sold like maybe up to 50 more units than we would have without the award.
Yeah.
Our industry is run by billionaires and conglomerates.
At Microcosm, we wanted the freedom to independently sell our books, easily pay royalties, manage our inventory, and understand our business all in one place.
That's why we've been using our own software since 2001.
Now, we want to share it with you.
Working Lit is the only business success software that is created and owned 100% by publishers for publishers.
Join Working Lit and get the agency you need to help your business grow.
Visit workinglit.com to try it for free.
Yeah, we would have to pay hundreds of dollars to get the rights to put, if we were to reprint with the award on the cover, to sticker the
No
cover.
kidding.
We would have to pay for that.
Yeah. Like, you can't just, even when you win, you don't get the rights to the emblem.
So, yeah.
I didn't know that part. That seems bonkers.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like, this is another nonprofit doing what it needs to do to exist.
Yeah.
Right.
And we were definitely like, maybe this will attract more quality submissions of the types that we want because we have the prestige. Like, that's kind of how we use social media. It doesn't sell books anymore, but it attracts authors and job applicants that we want. But I don't know if that's happened. Like, have we gotten more quality submissions in that series
I
since
don't
the
think
award?
so.
Well,
I would not say that has happened. And so it is curious where, and I do, there was a point in time where like a book review would sell a certain number of copies. And I do feel like an award would definitely sells, especially in children's publishing, would definitely sell like a good clip of copies. But now, I don't know, is it the volume of awards or is it the fact that they have less legitimacy?
I think so many don't have any name recognition in the market. So if a reader sees them, they don't know necessarily what to make of it. Certainly, just as a publishing insider, I see some of these books that do have sometimes like half a dozen awards, and I haven't heard of them, and I'm like, who gave you these?
I know.
So-
And I feel like if we were to like start an award, which maybe we should, because pure profit, like you said, the Microcosm Awards, like I feel like part of doing that would need to be like a mechanism for selling those books, right? Like,
Hopefully.
Well-
like get
Well,
podcasts to like have a reading group with all the books that were nominated, or whatever.
Right. And I think you've pinpointed one of the reasons awards get launched is because whoever the organizer is, publisher, nonprofit, something else, they're trying to get attention for themselves. So like it would make total sense to me for you to launch an award if you wanted to spread the word about Microcosm as a publisher doing award-winning books or as the arbiter or some judge of quality in your categories.
Well, I guess this is the perfect time to non-ironically and very seriously announce that we just have signed on to be one of the beneficiaries of the Zine Award. And they came to us. They just said, we want to like put you on it for legitimacy's sake. And, I said, that's fine.
What do you mean beneficiaries?
Like we're, like one of the people that grant the award.
Oh, like we're the judges?
No, not the
Benefactors?
judges. We like rubber stamp the legitimacy of the award from the legitimacy of our track record.
Got it.
And I did say, like, I would appreciate it if we had maybe some say in what is, who is winning this award. But I mean, it is cool. It's like nonfiction, research-based writing. And I'm like, that's exactly what I'm into.
Well, we should have a like challenge for our readers that we promote that's like read all of these and discuss.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. Like let's make this award non-bogus.
And I don't know when it's gonna roll out, but
Well, sharpen your pencils, zinesters.
I got a phone. And that's how it happened.
Wow.
Anything else you want to say about this, Jane?
Well, maybe I'll note, I guess, to be fair to the really big prestigious awards, or not to be fair to the smaller pay-to-play awards, rather. I got into a discussion with someone when I was posting these articles who, and now granted, this is, I think, a pretty cynical view. They're like, well, if you look at something like the National Book Award or the Pulitzers or whomever, like that's all just back scratching and it's who you know, and it's, they're just giving awards out to their friends or the publishers that they like. And, I don't think the awards are based on that, but there is an element of truth to the fact that awards typically go to the people that are already doing quite well.
Yeah. Nobody in our small press world is probably going to win the Nobel Prize for Literature.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's right. That kind of led everybody to launch their own, and here we are. Thanks for joining us once again.
Please send your questions to podcast@microcosmpublishing.com so we can answer them on future episodes.
And please give us 5 stars on iTunes and everywhere else that podcasts are reviewed.
You can find us on the internet at microcosm.pub,
On Twitter at Microcosm.
on Facebook at Microcosm Publishing,
On Instagram at Microcosm_pub.
and here in Portland, Oregon on North Williams Avenue.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful week.